Welcome, everyone, to the Success Elevated podcast. As always, I'm your host, Hayden Lee, and I am joined this week by my co-host, founding partner here at Spot On Solutions, Katie Harris.
Hey, Hayden. Good to be with you.
So good to be back recording another podcast. Today, we're going to be talking again more about some of our favorite marketing words and strategies and just all things marketing. Today, we wanted to talk about kind of a marketing buzzword that we were joking before we started recording that Katie asked me if I'd ever heard of this term before working here, and the answer was no.
I think I was like, we're going to talk about marketing funnels, right? And I said, hey, Hayden, where's the first place you learned about a marketing funnel?
Right here in this building.
Right here. But I mean, you did not go to school for marketing.
Nope. Didn't go to school for marketing, went to school for engineering. Found this as kind of, what was going to be a temporary home potentially, because I knew some people that worked here. But kind of fell in love with helping people grow their businesses and just helping and talking with people in general. There's not a lot of people you talk to when you're looking, sitting in a cubicle looking at engineering plans. There's not a lot of interaction with people. And this, one of the great things about marketing is it's a lot of it's based on people and relationships, which is really cool. But one of the first things that I learned about when working here and just, as you're in this world, you kind of just start doing research. But one of the first things I learned about was marketing funnels. And we're going to kind of talk about maybe the top half of the marketing funnel today. But I wanted to start with, let's clearly define at least everybody probably has a different definition, but how does Spot On Solutions, how does the Success Elevated podcast define a marketing funnel? Yeah. Katie, if you want to kind of start with that.
I think this is such a good topic for this because I think it's interesting. Like, I didn't learn about that until I came here. I was going to be an engineer. And a lot of the businesses we talk to, that's exactly what they're saying, right? It's like, hey, I run HVAC. I run a restoration company. I run a carpet cleaning company. Yeah. I didn't plan to be a marketer, but I don't care what type of a business you're running, right? You are a marketer. Yeah. And so I think understanding this idea of what a marketing funnel is helps understand, hey, how do I set my goals, right? What are some of the things I should be doing? And there is a little bit of a difference, I think, when we talk about there's a marketing funnel and there's a sales funnel. And we talk a lot about sales funnel. We'll do that on another podcast where it's like, hey, we got to keep a pipeline of people in my sales funnel. Well, today we're going to talk about a marketing funnel and what that looks like. Those are the actions we're going to do to turn people to go from awareness, top of mind awareness, brand recognition, to a decision maker, to a client, to a customer. Yeah.
And that's really the marketing funnel is really just kind of simplified into those 4 steps. You can get deeper. If you Google marketing funnel, you're going to find 50 million different versions of it. And some go into different levels and there's 10 levels or whatever it is. But really you can kind of sum up everything into those 4 things.
The most basic thing to really remember, you don't have to overcomplicate a marketing funnel, but a marketing funnel really it's awareness, right? And then we're going to go from awareness, we're going to go into interest, and then we're going to go to decision, and then we're going to go to action. So that's it.
That's all it is. And another way to look at this, it's kind of a similar journey. Maybe it's a little bit more tied into sales, or a similar journey, but it's a similar topic is the customer journey. Yeah. You kind of interlay your marketing funnel with the customer journey, and that's how you can kind of identify how you're going to get them through the funnel, right? But a customer journey is another term that's kind of thrown around similarly to a marketing funnel.
But a customer journey, right? This is one of the most overlooked things I think people do when they're looking at their marketing, because we get into our business and we're doing a million different things. We're busy, especially for owner operators who are actually out doing the work. Right. That's where I really see this just be something that's like, where is the time for this, right? But a customer journey, like understanding what it looks like from your customer's perspective, is really different than looking at it from your perspective as the business owner or the operator or the marketing manager. And so we've got to take some time and first off say, hey, what does the customer journey look like? And especially if you have multiple types of customers, because if I'm doing commercial and residential, well, the customer journey for my residential homeowner is going to be really different than the customer journey for my commercial.
Yep, exactly. So talking funnels today, you can kind of split, obviously the funnel, Katie outlined those 4 things. You can kind of split it into like top of funnel, bottom of funnel. Yep. Bottom of funnel is obviously going to be really focused on how do we How do we turn these potential customers into customers? What are some decisions they've got to make? How do we get in front of them the right way? But the top of the funnel is really just starting to kind of generate exactly what you said there, some awareness and some interest in your business.
Yeah.
And so we're going to spend a little time today focusing on those top of funnel items.
I think that I'm excited we're going to talk about top of the funnel, because what we really like to talk about is bottom of the funnel. Because bottom of the
phone
funnel,
calls, leads, conversions.
Yeah, this is where I can attribute how I spent my marketing dollar. I can directly attribute how I spent my marketing dollar to a lead that came in, right? Everybody can get excited about bottom of the funnel, because bottom of the funnel is money. And it's like, you can just match it up. Like, I paid for this Google ad, I got this lead, it turned into this revenue. So bottom of the funnel, we talk about a lot. Easy to get excited about bottom of the funnel. Top of the funnel, though, is really overlooked for how important it is when it comes to that awareness piece. And how does that play into all the rest of it? Yeah.
When we're talking awareness, we're generally talking brand awareness. And really, I mean, there's a million different directions we could go with this.
Sometimes we're talking not just brand awareness, but sometimes we're talking service awareness.
Yeah, service awareness. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Some kind of awareness around your business, your brand, what services you offer, the products that you sell, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You were trying to generate initial awareness into somebody that maybe doesn't know who you are at all.
This is where they're first discovering who you are.
A lot of customers or clients, that we talk to, they get a lot of referral business. They've got a lot of business and clients or customers, that are just generally already aware of them. Maybe they've got a friend or a cousin that used their services at one point, or they've seen their trucks out on the road, or they've seen a billboard, whatever it is. They're already kind of generally aware.
I think it's just important to say this right off the top, like, referral business is the best business. Like, referral business is the best business. And I think we could all agree, if we could just run our business as 100% on referral, we would be super happy, right? But sometimes you can't control when referral business comes. And so we've got to do other things, top of the funnel, drive awareness, create interest, so that we're not just reliant on referral business.
Yeah. And you're trying to get in front of people that have never heard of you before.
Yeah.
They have never heard of your business. They've never heard of your services. They have zero awareness of who you are. And so these things up at the top are so crucial, because the potential lifetime value of that new customer is huge, because they're going to offer a lot of services, or you're going to offer a lot of services.
Talking emergency services specifically, right? Guess what? They don't want to use you until they need you. Right?
Exactly.
Like, I don't always I'm not like Googling, tell me cool stuff about a restoration company until I'm standing in a flooded basement, right? A restoration company is not the most important thing to me to be aware of until I really, really need them. However, when I really, really need them, that's when I start to trigger, I remember I saw this, I remember I heard this. That's when the awareness, the top of the funnel stuff, becomes mission critical.
Yeah. Super, super important. So you say in the analogy or the story that you're using, you're talking about, okay, I remember seeing this. I remember hearing about this.
I saw this video.
Yeah. What are some of those things? That's what I was going to say. So what are some of those things when we're, talking brand awareness?
Yeah.
What are some of those things that help drive more brand recognition, more brand awareness?
It's a really good question. My favorite, it's been my favorite for a long time. I think it should be on everybody's radar, because this can be top of the funnel and we can trickle it all the way through the marketing funnel, clear down to that bottom action piece. But I'm going to put video right at my number one priority of top of the funnel marketing activities you can take part in.
Video is awesome because you described it right there, that you can create videos that fit into every piece of the marketing funnel, that also probably fit into every piece of the customer journey, right? You can have video is such, and it's underutilized too, is the other problem. It's so
and I will tell you this, like I was on a phone call with Google this week, and they're telling us that, like, hey, one of the number one things that we're getting graded on or looked at as an agency, honestly, is how well our clients are using video. And this has been true for a long time, but it is just got to be part of the marketing plan. And like you said, it can go all the way through that marketing funnel. But if you think about the power of video when it comes to awareness, right? We're full sight sound motion. Like a lot of the things that we do as home service companies is driven by emotion. Like I can show the fear, I can show the pain, I can show the excitement of a new homeowner, all these things. Like words are just not going to do the same. A blog post is not nearly as powerful when it comes to full sight sound motion, emotion, right? Is what a video is going to be able to do.
Yeah. I'm going to get a little technical and nerdy on some of this stuff when we're talking brand awareness and how it
You're
ties.
at your best when you're technical and nerdy.
A little technical.
Let's go.
So when we're talking video, and I guess how we're talking video, brand awareness, a lot of the things we do as a marketing agency are driven by what people are looking for on the internet, what they are searching for. And we can, when we're talking bottom of funnel specifically, we can directly tie, hey, this person searched for water damage company near me and it turned into this call or lead or whatever, right? And we can have ads that are specifically targeted for that search. Brand awareness, when we talk brand awareness, we are more generally talking about people that aren't, they are passively looking for companies.
Or when you understand your customer journey, you're inserting yourself to wherever they are.
Yeah.
So understanding where your customers hang out allows you to be there too. You're not in a normal and natural way.
Yes. You're getting in front of people that aren't actively looking for you, or maybe not actively looking for your services, but you're passively, hey, I'm going to throw up an ad in front of this certain demographic of people, because I know that's the demographic that's going to be in need of my services.
If I know my customers hang out at the hockey game,
I should probably have some ads at the hockey game.
I need to find a way for them to see me and are familiar with me from the place they're already hanging out, right? I want to go to them because I can't force them to come to me. So I'm going to go to where they are. I'm going to understand where they are. If I'm like, hey, my customer's hanging out at the home show, I'm going to hang out at the home show, like those things like that.
Well, and to that point, they're not going to again, let's use water damage. Let's use a restoration company as an example. People aren't going to be sitting at a hockey game being like, oh, I've got 3 feet of water in my basement back home.
Because they're not going to be at the hockey game.
Let me Google. Yeah, exactly. Let me Google and search who I should. No, they're going to be sitting at the hockey game. They don't have any issues with their home or their house or whatever. And they're going to see that ad pop up on the big screen, or they're going to see that banner down at the bottom of the hockey rink that talks about a local water damage company. And they'll be like, oh, that's cool. That company does that. So that 3 weeks from now, when their pipe bursts in their basement, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I saw this ad for this company. They had this really cool video or whatever it was. I know they do water damage restoration. Let me give them a call. And that's how
I know if you want to go, now let's go on the digital side, right? Because that's a traditional side. That's like at an actual hockey game, you betcha, right? If you know that's where your ideal customer hangs out, you're going to be there too.
Right.
But if I'm going to go on the digital side, I'm going to be like, okay, I know my ideal client enjoys high school sports.
Yep.
Right. That's just who my ideal client is. That's something they like, or guns, hunting.
Yeah.
Right. I know that's where they hang out, is on websites about hunting. Well, now I'm going to take my video that's about my business,
put it
right,
on those websites,
and I'm going to have it triggering on those websites.
Yep.
So if I know they're hanging out on a hunting website, I want them to see my video, so they're just aware of who I am, because I'm going to where they're at and they're seeing my stuff.
You're putting your ads in places that, you know where your customers are going to be. You're not, again, they're not on the hunting website searching for water damage companies. They're on the hunting website because they're just there. They have an interest in that, whatever it is. And there's a quick video ad, or here's another example. They're on YouTube, watching hunting videos, and then all of a sudden, this cool commercial pops up for this local water damage company.
It's not accidental, the videos that you see when you're watching the content you enjoy. Yeah. That is called top of the funnel marketing, where somebody is like, I have identified you as my ideal customer, and I know that your journey is hanging out here. This is where you hang out. My customer's journey is this, right? That's just something they like. It's not that they're looking for me or whatever, but I'm going to identify where my people like to be. And then I'm going to put a strategy together to be in that place, so that they already kind of like identify me with somebody they would like to do business with, because of how they're seeing my stuff, where they're seeing my stuff show up.
I know we've spent a decent amount of time already on this video, but the reason video is so crucial in these points is to what you were saying earlier about emotions and driving some of that. A lot of times when you're doing brand awareness, in order to catch people's eye, you have to have something that, sparks something inside of them, whether it's an emotion or whatever it is. And video is such a great way to do that. You can catch their eye with a little bit of movement or whatever it is. You can do it so quickly because, again, they're passively scrolling by, or they're watching a YouTube video and they're getting ready to hit skip. Oh, but that was really interesting. Let me watch this or whatever.
I think that very first thing we do to grab attention, that attention grabber, right? Matter of fact, in video, most important part of your whole video is going to be your first 3 seconds, because I'm going to assume they're going to skip me, right? That's fine. Go ahead and skip me. I just needed you for 3 seconds because I'm top of the funnel trying to raise my brand awareness.
Yeah, those first few moments are so important. And again, it's why video is great, because instead of just a static image that it's like boring, you can have a video that all of a sudden can move through really quickly.
Well, and that's where we're going to talk about some of the grabbers too. And we'll talk about that more when we're actually doing a whole podcast on video. But like, man, how are you grabbing their attention? Something's got to shock. Something's got to be funny. We've got to do something so that we're popping really quickly, because top of the funnel, it's just all about being memorable for later on. So don't be boring.
Don't be boring. Another great brand awareness, this is obviously a platform too, but it's, we kind of look at this on its own, is social media. Like, social media is a great way to build brand awareness. And in a lot of cases, for a lot of businesses, it's low cost. You don't have to run ads to do this. You can run ads to maybe drive it a little faster or to broaden your reach, but you can do social media at a pretty low cost to start building your brand awareness, helping people become more aware of who you are. Talk a little bit about social media. What are some things that you like about social when it comes to brand awareness?
Yeah. Social is where you get to tell your own story, right? Yeah. Organic social is tough. Like, it's different now than it was 5-10 years ago. Yeah. Organic social is tough. And I'll be perfectly honest, we can spend a lot of time creating organic social for not very many people to see it. Now, is it true they're going to come back and look and you want your page to look populated and interesting? Yes. But I think even at top of the funnel, we've really got to be talking about, we got to have some ad budget that's going to that social awareness, even top of the funnel, because otherwise it's a whole lot of work for no eyeballs. And honestly, the social platform allows us to target so well. So understand who your ideal client is, and then let's go target them with the awareness stuff. It doesn't have to be salesy, but now let's be educational, right? Let's be interesting. Let's be educational. Let's be like making sure they see us often enough that they can remember us. So the trouble with organic, right? We're going to post it. Not very many eyeballs are going to get on it, right? Yeah. Unless we're driving them there intentionally, which we can do. There's strategies to do that for sure. But man, have some sort of a page strategy on your social for top of the funnel so that you're controlling the conversation and how people see you and see your brand. Because now we can use video, we can use giveaways, we can use education, we can do all this stuff. Top of the funnel, hey, know, like me, trust me, way before you ever need me. But understand that when we're doing social and really anything for awareness, it's not like they can see you once and you should expect them to remember.
We got to see you a lot.
We got to be talking really consistent. So top of the funnel is all about consistency, how many times they see you, right? We got to have some They got to have some reps with your brand where they're seeing you in different ways so that they'll remember you.
Well, and this is another piece where it's super crucial to understand very clearly your customer journey so that you know what social media platforms are going to be on. Facebook's still the biggest and still probably the biggest. Which I know
people don't believe us when we say that, but
Facebook's for old people.
I'm telling you,
numbers
don't lie.
There's still billions of people on that platform. So it's still going to be the number one. So for most businesses, you got to be on Facebook, but there are other platforms that it may be good for, again, depending on your business type and your
where do your people hang out.
Where do your people hang out? Yeah. If you're really trying to build the commercial side of your business, LinkedIn might be a great spot to run some brand awareness ads or do some more organic posting, right? Instagram can be great. Maybe you're targeting a younger crowd. Like Instagram generally skews a little younger. Like there are some cool demographics that you can learn about each social platform to help you identify where's my customer at? How do I get more customers aware of me using, some paid ads. And there's, each of these platforms have their own version of a paid ad, and there's different strategies for each platform, but you can do paid brand awareness on each of those.
Yeah. And if I'm top of the funnel and I'm just like, hey, my goal is I'm going to make sure everybody thinks of me first. I am top of mind. I'm going to get in front of people in lots of different ways. First thing you got to do is don't assume your clients hang out where you like to hang out. So if you're like, hey, listen, I never use Facebook, I'm not going on Facebook because I don't use Facebook.
Yeah, that's a terrible idea.
You've got to ask yourself, am I my client?
Yep.
Am I my ideal customer? And if your answer is yes, man, that's awesome, because you're going to have a really good understanding of what your ideal customer is looking for. But if you are the owner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hayden is the owner, and Hayden's like, my ideal customer is a middle-aged woman, right? You got to know where I hang out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And even if it's like, hey, I don't want to hang out there, you got to come hang out with me because this is where you need to be.
Yeah, you've got to kind of get outside yourself a little bit.
Yeah,
and be
it's hard. That is hard to do.
It's hard to do, and it's a common question that we get, that clients bring up to us occasionally, where they're like, well, I searched for this and I didn't see us come up, or I did this. It's like, well, you might not be the ideal customer. You might not be serving you might not be in the same audience that we're trying to get after, right? And so identifying your ideal customer is the most important thing, and then finding out where they're at on average. There's always going to be weird outliers of, well, I have a middle-aged aunt that is not on Facebook. It's like, well, she might be the only one, or whatever, right? Like you have to identify where are your people on average, and that's where you need to be.
Yeah. Really, probably the top of the funnel strategies that you can do.
And they're really, we were talking a little bit about this, but brand awareness is really a forgotten piece of your marketing strategy.
I think it's a power piece of your marketing strategy.
But businesses don't think about it. They're so concerned with, which we all are. We want more bottom of the funnel.
Well,
but you don't get there without the top of the funnel.
The hard thing about top of the funnel, this is why we put it last, right? Is because I always want to be able to track an ROI. What is my return on investment? Bottom of the funnel, easy to track return on investment. Top of the funnel, it's a little harder.
It's a little harder to do so. And so, we talked about kind of our top two things that we really like with when it comes to brand awareness, things that we think people are missing or that they need to spend some more time focusing on. Katie, if you could kind of sum up this conversation, we're kind of doing it right now, but if you could kind of sum up this brand awareness, top of funnel conversation, what would you say for our listeners that are out there, for our clients or whoever it might be, anybody that's listening? How would you kind of sum up this topic of brand awareness?
Yeah. Get excited about it, right? Yeah. Like get excited about top of the funnel, brand awareness. Don't underestimate how much that drives to bottom of the funnel.
Yeah.
It really does. But also don't get overwhelmed by it, right? Like top of the funnel is where you get to go tell people who you are. Like this is awesome. The opportunity that you have to go introduce your company, your brand to your ideal customers, that can be a lot of fun to go do. And then we're going to look at a couple of main strategies. Don't get overwhelmed by it. Don't feel like you have to do everything. But if you're going to focus on just two things, first, I'm going to say number one, before you start focusing on the two things, number one, you gotta identify your ideal customer.
Your ideal customer, the customer journey.
Yep. Yeah. Know where they hang out, know what they care about. And then we're going to say, okay, now I'm going to really look at video. I'm going to look at YouTube specifically. Like, how can I show up right where I know they are? You're going to be able to target that. And it is cheaper to be on YouTube right now than it's ever going to be. So be on YouTube, right? Yeah. It's going to translate into everything else you do. And then I'm going to say, hey, what social media platform should I be on so I could be building my brand? And I'm going to invest some of my marketing dollars. I'm not just going to say organic's going to cut it for me. I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to invest in my top of the funnel brand strategy. It's not going to be the most expensive part of your marketing budget.
It's not going to cost a lot. You can invest a little bit of your money, and you're going to see some better results than just the organic.
I think that's true with both YouTube and with paid organic. Like it's not going to be super expensive to do, but it is worth investing in your brand and raising the awareness of who you are.
For couple $100 a month, even, you can generate thousands of eyeballs that are seeing your brand name, your logo, more of who you are very, very quickly. And again, at a very low cost. And I think ultimately I think brand awareness impacts businesses more than they'll ever know. And it's, again, because you can't directly attribute it. It's sometimes a little hard to do that, but it is the most crucial thing that you can do for your business. It's generally one of the lower cost marketing things you can do, which is really cool. And it will seriously change the scope of your business in 2026 and beyond. If you spend a little bit more time on brand awareness, if you just, hey, I'm going to carve out a little bit more of our marketing budget, or I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking to my agency, whatever it is, or my marketing team, I'm going to spend a little bit more time focused on how do we get more people seeing our brand.
Yeah. And more of the right people.
The right people. Yeah. Not just anybody, but more of the right people seeing our brand. You'll get to the end of 2026 and you will see a significant difference in your revenue, your profit. Everything will be better because you spent a little more time on that.
Hey, the other thing that I think is just cool about funnels, if you think about it, because this goes with what you said, right? It all trickles down. Top of the funnel is the biggest. This is where you have the most opportunities. Fill that thing up because it's all going to come down, and down at that bottom is where you're going to see the revenue.
It makes total sense, right? And when you actually look at a funnel, like the more you're putting in at the top, the more you are going to get out at the bottom. Now, you've got to be careful about who you're putting into the funnel, but if you're pouring more into the top of the funnel, more is going to come out the bottom. It's just how it works, and it's why it's called a funnel. It's because the more people you can get started into this journey to become a customer with you, the more people you're going to get. And it's why it's important. It's why we spent a whole podcast talking about it, is because we honestly believe really strongly in this stuff. So,
get out there, build your brand.
Yeah. Build your brand.
Let people know who you are and how you can help them.
Yeah. Talk to some, if you've got a dedicated marketing team, great. If you want to sit down and talk with a marketing agency, you do that as well, but spend a little bit more time, and it's going to make a big difference. So thanks for joining today, Katie.
Thank you.
This was it's a good conversation.
Next time, let's talk like middle and bottom of the funnel.
Let's do it. We'll do that on our next episode.
Perfect.
Thanks, Katie.
Thanks, Hayden.